What up, Alex here from Pike's Wine and Liquor. I've decided to start opening our liquor store at 12 o'clock noon every day starting January 1st. So currently we open at 10 a.m. and Monday through Saturday, and on Sunday, because of the law, the earliest we can open up anyway is noon, 12. So we're going to be switching every day. We're going to open at noon, and I'm going to keep the closing hours the same. So currently, Monday through Thursday we close at 8 p.m. and Friday and Saturday we close at 10 p.m. and Sunday we close at 7 p.m. So the new hours are going to be noon to those times. Now, why am I doing this? Why? Well, the honest reason, like the biggest reason, is because I've been just thinking about it for a while. I open and close the store myself, so I don't really mind. We used to open at 9 a.m. and for example, on Thursdays we used to close at 10. It's not really, so I'm used to having the 80-hour work weeks and that kind of thing. It's not that bad, because once you have a cashier in place, once you have the right systems in place in your store, like we do here, you don't have to be busting your balls all day, running around and doing stuff. I mean, is it busy? Yeah, of course, but there is time to get in stuff. Like I have side projects that I work on. I have a lot of stuff that I do other than just working at this store while I'm working at this store. So the biggest reason is because I'm a big fan of the Pareto's principle, which is 20% of consequences, no, 80% of consequences come from 20% of actions or whatever. So what that basically means is that the majority of our business probably comes from about 20% of our opening times, right? So it applies to a bunch of stuff. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be 80-20. It could be like 95% of your business comes from 5% of your customers, or from 5% of your opening hours. It could be 60% of your business comes from 40% of the opening hours. For us, and I'm sure for you, the busiest time is basically after 5. I think that's because people generally, like the bulk of people get out of work at 4 or 5 p.m. And so what happens is, you're out of work, and now you have a little bit of time to run your kind of errands. So that's when you go to the store, right? Everybody's moving around. So you go to the liquor store, you go to the grocery store, you got to do what you got to do, pick up your kids or whatever, get that shit done. So that's why I think sales go from 5 to 8, why they're the highest. Now, obviously, it's not the most beneficial thing for business for me to bump up the opening hours from 10 a.m. to noon. But like I said, the biggest reason is actually I want to see what happens. Okay, so last year in January we did $170,000 in revenue, which is a lot more than we did 2 years ago. That was about almost a 40% increase over 2 years. So it was a very big jump, which is from advertising, which I'll talk about if you guys want me to, but that's a whole nother thing. So this year, because it's December now, so I want to see if we can get through January and do at least 170,000, even if it's a little bit less. It's not going to be less. I hate when it's less, but I hope it's not going to be less. But if it's 170 or more, then as far as I'm concerned, that's cool. It wasn't a failure. We can continue doing business like this. Worst case scenario, it's going to be like a trial run in January. We'll go back to the way things were, opening up at 10, starting February. But I'm hoping that because we already have really low prices. We always have a cashier behind the desk. Behind the counter. I'm picking up phone calls. If I'm not picking up phone calls, somebody's picking up for me. So questions are being answered. We're serving customers quickly. They're getting the best prices. I think that I don't think there's going to be too much backlash. I think we're definitely going to lose a handful of customers because they're just going to be pissed off or whatever. They won't understand. They'll think we're assholes for opening up later. But c'est la vie, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see what happens. Anyway, I just wanted to make this video, I guess, to let you guys know that I'm going to be opening up at noon, and I'm going to see what happens. So maybe if it works for me, maybe it's something that you guys consider, especially, if I were a big business here, I most likely would not really be thinking about this. You know, if I could afford to have a day manager and a night manager and a day shift and then like an evening shift and you know, great help all day, then I wouldn't really be considering this. But seeing as we are a small business, it's me and two full-time cashiers, a full-time stock guy, and now, thank God, my cousin, who's basically like a manager of sorts for me, almost like a partner, really. Um, we're right between being we're definitely small, but we're right between. There's no way I could hire another guy. You know, even with us, it's not really enough to be fully present for every customer all day. You know, it's difficult. It's not difficult when you're talking about weeks, but it is difficult when you're talking about a whole year, right? So as to keep consistency, and like I said, to experiment, we're going to start opening up at 12. So let me know what you guys think, obviously, please. And let me know what else you guys want me to make videos about. All right? So take it easy. Peace.